Hey guys, Ollie here. In this video we're just going to do a brief overrun of what gear I'm currently using. This might be useful for guys and girls just getting into the sport and looking for a few tips and tricks. Alright, enjoy. Wetsuits. I've got plenty of wetsuits lying around. This was my first wetsuit. It's a Rob Allen 5mm wetsuit. I bought this in South Africa when I was over there. It's actually close cell, so it's the nylon interior, which is not very common for freediving and spearfishing. It's almost like a steamer. Basically, you let water get into the wetsuit and your body heats up the water, and that's how you keep warm. Not as comfortable and flexible as an open cell, but there's a plus of just you don't need water and soapy water and crap to put it on, so you just chuck it on really fast. Pros and cons: good quality wetsuit, cool camo. It's all about looks at the end of the day, isn't it? No, nice Kevlar knee pads, and a high waist. I like high waist. Even my other wetsuits, I cut off the long johns. It's really useful if you're out in the ocean for like 6 or 8 hours, which I'm usually diving, and you need to do your business. You can just whip down the bottoms and do what you got to do without taking the whole jacket off and all that, which is a pain in the ass. So yeah, I recommend high waists. I usually wear 3mm in summer months when it's really warm, and generally a 5mm all year round, other than those 2 months of summer when it's really hot. So Moray wetsuit, again, just brands don't really matter as long as it's good quality build and it fits you well. It's got to be comfortable. Wetsuit's basically the most important bit of your kit. The more comfortable you are in the water, the more calm you are, the lower the heart rate will be, the longer you can hold your breath, the more fish you'll shoot. So that's pretty simple. But this suit is an open cell, so much warmer, much more stretched, much more comfortable. It was like day and night changing from a closed cell wetsuit to this. Yeah, pretty cool. So that's that. These were the bottoms. As you can see, well, you might not be able to see, but I chopped those off myself. These were long johns, and yeah, never look back. Warm, comfortable wetsuit, that's all that matters really. So here we go. Dive masks. I've got 2 dive masks. Generally I use this. It's a Cressy GoPro mask. I just find that fits my face well. Whatever fits your face, and is good quality. That's the mask you want. Pretty simple. If I were not filming, I would be using just a really nice small mask like this. Low volume, what you want for freediving, spearfishing. People think these small little masks you can't see much out of. It's a bit of a myth. Heaps of field of view, great vision, so yeah. Low volume mask is what you want. I film, obviously. I've tried GoPro mounts on the gun and stuff. I just feel you get a bit more natural footage on the head mount and capture a lot more footage. But probably a mixture of both is quite good if you're looking to get into some filming. Snorkel. Snorkel's a snorkel. As long as you can breathe out of it and it's fairly comfortable, that's all that matters. This snorkel here is a Rob Allen Scorpia. I like this just because of these straps here. You can see them. 2 little straps. The snorkel comes off, you can adjust it. Really easy putting back on. You're not going to lose that. So that's currently my choice of snorkel. But yeah, anything that you can breathe out of. Simple as it gets. That's all you want. If you're hunting in New Zealand or around the world where you've got really skittish reef fish, obviously you don't want a purge valve snorkel. the little bit of the extra noise and stuff, bubbles coming out of it will scare away snapper and the like. That's why you just want a real simple basic snorkel. That's pretty much that. If you want a tutorial on how to stop your mask from fogging up, check out the link here in the corner. Fins. These are my fins. They are Roku blades. They're made in New Zealand, so again I like to support local businesses, local products should I say. These are fiberglass blades, really strong, durable. Just rip out the little ball, try break them, you can't. So really good for our New Zealand shores, or other places around the world where it's lots of rocky structure and you're a rough guy like me, then you don't have to worry about cracking your blades and stuff like that. Yeah, really durable, really tough. You can just thrash them around the rocks, getting crays and everything, and they're not going to break. So yep, these come in different stiffnesses, soft, medium, hard, etc. So perfect for your different weights. If you're going to get a set of blades and you're just starting out, make sure they're a two-piece. So you can see with these, they're a two-piece. A few screws, slide that blade out and chuck a new one in if you want to upgrade from plastics to a composite like this, carbon fibre or fiberglass. So yeah, two-piece I can recommend. If you're going to get some new blades and pockets, just make sure you get one that fits your foot the best. That's the most important thing. These fit my feet great. I like to support NZ made, but I wouldn't be wearing them if they're shit. They fit my foot well. In summary, get a pocket that fits your foot good. Dive knives. Currently I'm pretty much just using a couple of these cheap bait knives. They always go missing, but they're really super sharp and do the job. Like this is a rife knife which I had, casing for it. I usually have a nice knife strapped to my leg like this, and I usually have one of these on my belt. I like to have two knives, generally diving by myself, that's the way I like it. So yeah, I like to have two knives for safety reasons, and the amount of times I've lost a knife, always good to have a backup. You can put these on your arm or your leg, whatever. Everyone's got their personal preference. I choose my leg, whatever works for you. Dive torches. If you do a lot of crayfish lobster diving in caves or cave diving for fish, not so common here in New Zealand, but around the world I know a lot of guys shoot fish in caves. You need a good dive torch for either. This is the LED Lenser. If you know LED Lenser, they're really good torches. Usually come with about a 7-year warranty. Nice and bright. This is a torch rechargeable. Both really nice torches, really bright. I really like the rechargeable option. Everyone knows how annoying batteries are. But yeah, as long as it's got a good little sheath, tie it to your wrist and whatnot, you're good to go. But pay a bit of money, get a good dive torch. The cheap ones just won't last, like most cheap things in life. You pay for what you get, so something like that is going to do the job well. And if you've got a knife pouch in your wetsuit, pretty much all this, these size knives will just fit in your knife pouch really easily. So there you go, torches. Dive watches. This is my dive watch. It's a Sunto D4F. So specifically for freedive, it does have basic scuba functions. If you do a bit of that, like me, I dive on scuba once a year, twice maximum, so it does kick into gear and do what you need to do for that. Great little watch. Sunto, they're made in Finland, good quality. Highly recommend these. Gloves. Got two gloves pretty much which I wear most of the time. Some Moai leather Amara gloves. These are pretty much my all-round glove, apart from in the middle of winter. Leather's just really strong and durable. I find them really comfortable. You've still got some feeling, dexterity, so I like those. It's my go-to glove. Got some other 2mm Kevlar gloves. These are a bit warmer. They've got a bit more neoprene on them, but they've got that nice Kevlar pad. They're just really tough. I'm using these if I'm doing a lot of crayfish diving or winter. They just seem to be a bit more warmer. So yeah, the gloves with Kevlar and stuff, you just lose a bit more feeling in your fingers and stuff, and just a bit harder with lines management and stuff on spear guns. So that's why I like a glove like this for most of the diving I do. A bit more feeling. But gloves, you'll wear through them once again, like, you know, socks and gloves. They're just a replaceable item. So don't get too caught up in getting the best of the best. You'll just wear through them all. So yep, that's the gloves. This is one of my dive sock booties, whatever you want to call them. Neoprene sock. Here in New Zealand, generally we wear 3mm. Guys down the South Island where it's really cold, often wear 5mm. Just get a sock to suit your territory. If you're in the tropics, 2mm, 1mm, or no sock. Just wear even an ankle sport sock or something. If you want to stop the chafing and rubbing. But yeah, if you're doing shore dives a lot and you're walking along the beach and you like to wear your socks as you're walking, keep warm and whatnot, get a Kevlar bottom. I've got a set of those, don't know where they are. Socks and knives, they just go runabout. Yeah. Right, weight belt. This is my weight belt, just your everyday rubber, stretchy rubber weight belt. Nothing crazy. This one's a Moray super stretch, really is stretchy, which is what you want. I've got weight belt keepers on here, one on each side. These are just really useful. You can clip on anything. I clip my gun to it when I'm burleying a fish or dispatching a fish. You can tie your knife off to that. You can do whatever you want, really. All sorts of stuff. Really handy. I've just got a cheap $7 knife on there, cable tied on. Always lose knives, so I just have a nice little cheap $7 knife, and if that goes missing, well, I just get another one. Mixture of buckle weights and a few speed weights. These are 850 gram, these 1.5 kilo. So yeah, that's about the perfect little setup for me at the moment with a 5mm suit. And just interchange when need be, and into summer with their 3mm suit and whatnot. Just your traditional quick release buckle, keep it simple. Weight belt. Can't forget the old measurer. Every country's got its different regulations for size and limit. This is for shellfish and the like, lobster, crayfish. So yeah, get one of these, stick within the rules, help your fisheries out, don't take undersized fish. This is a Sparrowed 1m railgun, aluminium. This is basically my go-to gun at the moment. Fitted with a rubber and reel, 50m, and a Widowmaker roller head. It's got a 6.6mm shaft, light, short, hard, great little shaft, spring steel. All Dyneema, double wrap with a roller gun at this size to make use of the power and range that it has. You kind of be stupid not to do a double wrap unless you're shooting in really dirty water. Roller guns are really awesome. They've taken a little while for me to get used to, but once they're set up correctly, they're just awesome. There's no denying that they have a hell of a lot more power for a gun the same size. They're really accurate the way the rubbers counteract each other, so once that's pulled back and it's fired, you've got almost zero recoil, very minimal. So yeah, accurate, powerful. What else do you want from a spear gun? I stick to a single roller. keep it simple. As with all things in spearfishing, keep it simple. That's my kind of motto. Got a Widowmaker reverse mech trigger mechanism. These are made in New Zealand. I like that. The fact that I've got a side release, it's quite nice when you've got a reel and a roller set up and everything. Keeps the line out of the way. Also, it's that reverse mech. You've got another 5 or 10 centimeters of band stretch, basically. Power's all about band stretch and whatnot, so that's cool. One other thing I hear is guys bagging reel guns and saying you shouldn't be using a reel unless you're very experienced and whatnot. My first gun I bought, I got it mounted with a reel, never had any issues. I'm no superhero, I just don't think they're that complex. Sure, the shooting line's a bit thinner than versus having a big thick float line connected to your gun, but I just think I think you run the same risk as getting tangled up in your float line as a reel. There's a lot more other dangerous aspects of the sport than a reel. Eliminating that float line if you can, I highly recommend it. Just changes the game and gives you a lot more freedom. I've got it with 16mm bands, slight bit more recoil and kick than 14s. 14mm bands on a roller are just super smooth, but I just like that extra bit more grunt and power on a shorter gun. So yeah, that's my go-to setup at the moment. Awesome little gun. There's a lot of guys that have been put off roller guns and an anti-roller gun. You've probably just had your gun set up incorrectly. If they're not set up right, as with any other spear gun, they're gonna be shooting shit. In summary, get it made by some professionals, get it set up correctly, and they're awesome. A lot of guys say they're really complicated and takes so long to load. Well, essentially you're loading one rubber, and the only difference would be on a shorter gun like this, especially I would recommend anyways having a double wrap of shooting line to make use of that power and range. So other than a double wrap, I think they're pretty simple. I run my rubbers pre-tensioned right down onto the base slugs here. It just keeps it all neater, no extra line around. And on the Rob Allens, they've got these base slugs, so super easy when you're not using your spear gun. Just pull them off, take the tension off, and it's gonna stop that rubber perishing when you're not using it. So yeah, that's the Rob Allen 1 meter alloy barreled roller gun. This is my last little gun I've just built up recently. It's a Rob Allen Scorpio aluminium 75cm rail gun, roller gun, all in one. This is my gun I use for dirtier water, around the shores of Auckland or West Coast, or basically anywhere with just a few meters vis. Heaps of power. I've shot plenty of kingfish and some good snapper with this at range. Heaps of power. Again, reel. I fit all my guns with reels. Can't recommend getting a reel enough. I just hate float lines, they're just annoying. Get tangled up everywhere. I'm sure most of you out there can relate. I've tried two roller heads on my roller guns. I originally started with the Rob Allen. I just found it really bulky. Line of sight was compromised, so I've got the Widowmaker on here now. You hear a lot of people saying how spring steel shafts are crap, they rust and whatnot. If you get a good quality one, I've never had my shafts rust. Only on the tip where it's kind of shot into some sand or rock. Other than that, they shouldn't rust the length of the shaft. If they are, that's just a bad quality shaft. A lot of people think stainless is better, stronger, everything. Spring steel is actually the same, if not harder and stronger than stainless. The only downside is they have a weak point where the notches, versus a lot of stainless shafts have tabs. In my opinion, half the price I just run spring steel all the way. Shafts are replaceable items. You know, you're gonna bend them, they're gonna get bent, you're gonna hit rocks, you're gonna shoot big fish, and they're gonna get bent. So just my opinion again. This was my first gun, Rob Allen Carbon 120cm spear gun. This is just a lifetime gun. Basically, Rob Allen's are notorious for their build quality and construction accuracy, everything. Otherwise referred to as the AK-47 of spear guns. If you don't know what an AK-47 is, Google it. So I won't go into too in depth with the Rob Allen spear guns, but yeah, you can look up Rob Allen on YouTube and whatnot. He's got plenty of videos. Basically, if you buy one of these, you can't go wrong. Super accurate and super reliable. This is currently set up as a roller. I've got a Widowmaker roller on there with a Rob Allen drop barb. Yeah, set up as a breakaway. This was set up for summer. I was planning to go marlin hunting in March until the COVID-19 lockdown. It's put me at home making these videos. Anyways, generally I have this set up as a normal gun, twin 14mm bands with a 7mm shaft, and I'll show you. Boom, that's set up. Normal closed muzzle with nice short twin 14mm bands. These are micro hole rubber, really strong, powerful rubbers. I'll show in another video, but basically it takes about two minutes. Screw that other muzzle off, put this one in, put a screw in, and change the shaft over. You've got a completely different gun. So that's why I love tube guns like these. Super versatile. You can cut them down, turn them into a roller. You can just change the shaft setup, rubber setup, and you just got multiple different gun options with one piece of equipment. So highly recommend. Float lines always get messed up, always turn into a bird's nest. Anyways, this is one of my float lines. If I'm using a float boat or a float connected to the gun, I'll use one of these. Other than that, like I said, I just use a real gun. These ones here come with a fish threader, which is really handy. So thread that through the gills of the fish or whatnot, and tow them behind you or whatnot. Little swivel on the other end, connect that to your gun, or vice versa, it doesn't really matter. This is just a cheap 3-strand rope. It floats, it does the job. It's actually really strong. In my opinion, unless you're targeting like wahoo and stuff, where tuna, marlin, a bungee can be quite useful. Hardline, way to go, cheap, does the job. When choosing a float line, get something that's long enough to suit your diving depth. If you're diving 10 meters, at least get one to say 15 meters, because often you're diving on angle. If you're diving only to about 5 or 10 meters, don't get a 25-30 meter float line. That extra line, getting towed around the water is just a pain in the ass. They're annoying as is, so don't have extra line or unnecessary line on the water. Yeah. Floats. This is my float. It's a Rob Allen Remora 20 PVC, pretty heavy duty floats. I really don't use this anymore. Good setup when you've just got a gun, float line and a float. I use pretty much reels on all my guns now, so don't really have the need for a float. I instead use a float boat most of the time, and if I'm doing a shore dive, I'll just anchor that up in a bay or an area which I'm working on. Otherwise, yeah, I'm just reel gun off the boat and just work back and forth from the boat dropping off fish. This is a variant of one of the two float boats which I use. This is a Harrison float boat. Got a hatch at the back, rubber seal, chuck all your catch in there. Pretty good for most Spearos out there. You'll fit a lot of catch in there, just not a real big kingfish, or you know, a couple of 20-pound snapper or something, which is quite a rarity. I've never got that many. Pretty much will suit most Spearos around New Zealand or around the world probably, unless you're shooting massive pelagics like 20 kg plus kingies. They're not going to fit in there, but that's all good. If you get a big fish like that, you're usually done for the day. So they're really cool, size wise, awesome. This fits in a dive bag, and I can just hike that to a dive spot and whatnot. The other float boat I use is the Packhorse Kaiwaka, which is much bigger boat, but yeah, in my opinion, the best kind of float boat on the market at the moment. But yeah, this is really cool. Attach your float line to that and that to your gun, tow it around, you barely feel it. People ask, oh, do these, you know, create a lot of drag in the water and whatnot? I've towed kayaks around with my gun, often dive off the kayak, so yeah, it's all good. Anyways, that's that. Dive bags. This is my current dive bag. I've had a few. It's not really the most important bit of the kit. A dive bag's a dive bag, but if you really get into it like me, spearfishing and just like buying new shit, well, this is a really nice bag actually. Heavy duty. It's a dry bag, so gear's not going to get wet inside. Spearfishing gear gets wet, but whatever. The main thing is, which I like about this bag, it's got a scupper hole, or drainage hole, whatever you want to call it, which means cleaning gear at the end of the day is just so much easier. I just get a whole lot of soap in there, scrub the whole thing, fill it up with water, and just all drains out. It's basically almost bone dry, which is awesome. You can put your gear straight back into it once it's dry and chuck it away. Another plus is if you don't have a esky, chili bin, cooler, whatever you guys call it around the world, and you always forget it on the day out spearing. I've done it a few times. I just grab a few bags of ice, chuck it in the dive bag, chuck my kingfish in here or whatever, and you've got fish on ice, and it's not going to leak all through your car. So that's a plus of a dry bag with like a drainage hole and whatnot. So yeah, again, not the most important bit of the kit, but something to think about. Cheers for watching that one. Hope you liked that and got something out of that. Yeah, I'm no expert in everything. I'm not a know-it-all. This is just from my experience, what I like to use. I'm not endorsed by any products. I'm not sponsored. I buy all my own gear, so there's none of that. It's just personal preference, and everybody's different. Just find the gear which works for you, which is comfortable, easy to use, keep it simple. Easy as that. So see you on the next episode. If you've got any comments or more questions about gear, just chuck them in the comments. I'm always there answering questions, and yeah, we'll see you on the next episode. Cheers guys.